Hey, Side Hustle Cruisers. Good afternoon. We wanted to give you a update from a live perspective, being on the ship when there is a hurricane out there in the Gulf of Mexico. Now, we took a Caribbean side, the Eastern Caribbean side cruise, and we are having our sea day today. And as you see those white caps back there. But truthfully, very little movement. We are on one of the Oasis class ships for Royal Caribbean. We're on the Allure of the Seas. So maybe that's why it's not too terrible. What do you think?
And I'm sure they got the stabilizers working at full capacity too.
So it doesn't, we can feel it moving, but it's not overbearing at all. Again, we're on the east coast of Florida, where the hurricane's on the west coast of Florida. But here's one update that the captain just gave us. He said that because the storm is moving at the pace that it's moving, we're due to come back to Miami tomorrow. They're going to slow this ship down because the storm is so large that it is pretty much covering the entire state of Florida as it goes up. So they're going to slow the ship down, which is going to cause us to arrive in Miami
a little bit later.
Yeah, I think he said an hour later, or he mentioned something about an hour. It was a little hard to hear, but they were trying to give us an update, and they said if anything changes, they'll certainly keep us posted on what changes. But being on the ship,
blue skies, white caps, not a real big deal.
Not a real big deal at all.
But it's when we get back to Florida that it may become an issue of us getting off and them being able to come into port, because if the wind and the waves are too much, they won't bring us into port until that calms down. And once that calms down, they'll bring us into port. That's the gist of it. If the storm slows down, they're going to keep us updated on what that's going to look like for us. But they just were giving us a heads up for those that have flights that may need to call
the airlines
and whatnot. I do remember, as we were going to breakfast this morning, one guy was asking one of the crew members what time can he get off in the morning, because he had a 7:45 flight. 7:45 in the morning?
I don't think he was going to make that.
I don't think he was going to make that
without a storm.
Without a storm.
7:45, he wasn't going to make that.
And then to get to Miami, get through customs, and get to your flight, that would have been.
And keep in mind, we're returning on a weekday, so
Friday.
It's not like the weekend where it's less traffic. It will still be a good amount of traffic out there in the morning. So I don't think he was going to make that anyway. And now that they've made that announcement that we're delaying and could be further delayed getting off,
he ain't making it.
He ain't making it. So that's your tip. Don't make those flights before noon. You could somehow be risking it all, and to watch the weather, what's going on wherever you're going, because before we got on this ship, we already knew that there was a storm in the Gulf of Mexico that was going to be approaching and possibly affecting the state of Florida at that time. So if he had watched the news where he was going, he might have known that maybe I should change that flight in case there are any issues.
But even with that, if you're a first-time cruiser, these are things you don't know. So that's a first-time cruiser tip. Watch your weather, and don't book your return flights so close to de-embarkation.
Disembarkation, yeah, you don't want to do that.
Yeah.
Don't want to do that.
All right, y'all. We'll keep y'all updated on what time we get off and everything else.
But in the meantime, we can ready to go have lunch.